Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
So here's a setup of the regular game that you would play. I'm going to assume you know how to play that game. Now what you're going to do in a solo game is you're going to take the tavern and it will be removed from the game. So the tavern will not be in it. Everything else will scoot down. The other little rule is the thief card. So when a thief card's drawn, you play it. Instead of stealing from their player, if you have more than 2 cards in your hand, so let's say I had 3, now I got to discard one of these cards and get rid of it. That's how the thief is going to work. So it's going to be a little bit different than it would be in the multiplayer game. You're going to play until this deck runs out. At that point, you add up how many points you have, and that will be your score for the game. So the first time you play, you're not really playing just to get a high score. You don't know what the base level is going to be. At that point forward, you will play for the most possible points that you can have, and you'll be doing your mission cards and trying to obtain them, etc. And then the next time you play, you'll be able to see if you beat your high score, and then you continue to try to beat your high score. And let's say your wife or your husband plays, or a friend, and they borrow your game and play solo. They track their high score. You can always go after that one. So this is a game of just trying to beat your high score in the solo variant before the virtuous deck runs out. So what do I think about the solo variant? I think the solo game has got fine. It feels a lot like the real game. The only thing you're really losing is the tavern and being able to shift out your mission cards, and then the thief card, because it steals from somebody else, needs to play a little bit differently, and you're going to lose a card from your hand. So it distracts from you just a little bit when it's drawn. Otherwise, it's a timed game, just getting through this virtuous deck, seeing how you can manipulate the cards in order to score the mission cards, because whenever you score one, you're going to draw a new one. So you can be hampered a little bit by the aspect that maybe it's something that's very difficult to get, but that's kind of the puzzle aspect of the game. So the first time you're playing, you don't know what kind of score. Maybe you want to score low so you can have that high score to beat. It's really just beat your own high score. So it almost reminds me of like those early Asteroids or Space Invaders games, Donkey Kong, where you're playing to beat that high score like in a video game every time you play. And it's not my favorite way to play. I prefer to play against an AI. I don't know that I would buy this game just for the solo, but if you do like to play like solitaire on your computer, this can be a really fun solitaire game of just trying to beat the score versus trying to do something. If you use BG Stats, you can kind of keep track of that, or just write something inside the box and you can beat that score every time. I do kind of prefer this one with multiplayer a little bit more, but it is a pretty good challenge to try to do that. So that would be my aspect of playing it solo. If the puzzle aspect sounds fun, and track this down, but it is a nice bonus if you bought this for the multiplayer experience to be able to practice, see more cards, and to have a little bit of fun if you're on your own.